Hey guys, and welcome to the Lazy Lemon Creations podcast. My name is Lindsay. You can find me on Instagram as Lazy Lemon Creations, and you can find me on Ravelry as Lazy Lemon. This is my podcast all about my knitting, crochet, cross stitch, diamond painting, any sort of crafty thing that I get into, and this is episode 51. Today is Thursday, April 16th. It is about 10 o'clock in the morning. I have mopped the floors, rotated laundry, done a load of dishes, not a full load yet, and I've started dinner in the crock pot. And so now I have a clean slate to be able to sit down and record this episode today. So let's jump into it. I live in the heart of the New River Valley with my husband and our 2 kids. Everybody is out of the house today and it is absolutely wonderfully quiet. The husband's at work, the kids are at school, and I have the windows open because it is 84 degrees already at 10 o'clock this morning. So it is going to be a hot one and I want some nice airflow through the house. So let's jump into this. I don't have a lot of FOs, but I have a few. The first FO that I have to, on all of these FOs, I have to weave in my ends. You guys know I hate weaving in ends. It's my least favorite part of any project. So I always save them until right before I have to either mail something off or deliver it or whatever. So I never weave in my ends until the end because I don't ever want to say it's completed until, like, if I need to go back and change things, I want that ability to do so. But anyway, so one of the things that I have here is a little bitty tiny baby hat. It's an itty bitty little thing. This hat was knit on 5mm needles, ChiaoGoo, red lace, maybe a 16-inch cable. I'm not even sure. But yeah, I just cast on, I think 64 stitches, I want to say 64, 70, something like that, stitches onto the needle. I did some 2x2 ribbing for about 1 inch. And then, yeah, I knit a little, it's a newborn hat. It's meant for like itty bitty newborn. The baby that it's meant for is a preemie. So it is meant as an itty bitty tiny baby hat that I have knit. I got to weave in those ends. And it matches my next FO. Again, the ends are not woven in, so don't come at me, okay? But it matches the next FO, which there's only a few ends to weave in. But it's this elephant blanket. It is a corner to... There we go. It's an elephant blanket. It is a corner to corner blanket that I made, and it's not very big. It's like 56 stitches across or something like that, but this blanket matches this hat and they go together for this baby. Again, I have to weave in the ends, which I'll do eventually. It's due like May 1st, but I'm already done with it. And so I'm going to double check the person who made the order, make sure she likes everything about it. And if so, I will start weaving those in so that she can have it. But I knit that hat in like 2 days. It was a very quick hat. I would have been able to do it in one had I started in the morning of a day, but I didn't. I started at like after dinner one day. But that hat I knit from April 2nd till April 4th. And then the blanket, I started that February 15th and I finished that April 12th. So I'm very happy with both of those that I have done. The hat was knit, like I said, using a 5mm needle, and the blanket was crocheted using a 5mm hook. And the yarn that I used for the elephant blanket is Royal Blue and Gray Mist. Both of them are I Love This Yarn from Hobby Lobby, I think. It's where the lady picked up the yarn and I made the blanket for her. So I'm very happy with it. And then let's move on to the only other thing that I have finished to be able to show, and that is some bandanas. So my daughter is on a softball team for the Cotton Candy Hurricanes, and they wanted warm-up bandanas that they all wear right before the game starts or whatever. So they are pink and blue, and so I'm making half the team in pink, half the team in blue. I am making them children's bandanas for their softball team. So this is just granny stitch and then some scalloped edges that I have on it. I followed Passionate Kelsey's tutorial for how to do a bandana, and I have 4 of them in pink. I need to do 2 more in pink. So I have 4 of them in pink here. I need to do 2 more in pink and then move on to the blue ones before our first game at the end of next week. And yeah, they're pretty quick makes. I can make one in about 2 hours, so works up pretty quickly. And for that, I am using Caron Sweetie Cakes that I got from Michaels. So that is the yarn that I'm using for those. And I know I'm using a 5mm crochet hook because I don't use anything else if I can help it. But yeah, I've been working on those as well for my daughter's softball team. So that is it for FOs, which this isn't really an FO. This is like a half finished object, but like the one is finished. You know, it's finished. The ends are woven in. These are just the ties, the straps for it to tie. But I still have to make the other 2 in the blue one. So if I counted it individually, these 4 are done. But if I didn't count them individually, and then the project is about 40%. So, whoops. Okay. Then let's get into the real knitting that I have done here recently. So, the first one that I have, hold on, my bags are attached to each other. Okay. The first one that I have is in my knitting bag from Happy Little Yarn. It's my orange bag. One of my favorites that I own. And in it is my DK Musselburgh hat using Baby Bee Sweet Delights in Baby's Blue. It is the perfect UNC Carolina Tar Heels blue. And this is where I'm at. Maybe. No. Possibly. Yes. Okay. The last time you saw it, I was right there with my stitch marker from Twin Mountain Handcrafts. It's in my little owl. And I have made that much progress on this hat. So I've really been working on it. I've been taking it to the pickup line for the kids at school. I have been taking it to car dealerships, and I even took it to our most recent hospital visit for 2 nights. So I have been making some progress on this hat. I would say I'm almost halfway. I need to weigh my cake so that I know where I stand, but I believe I'm about halfway in order to have it fit for my son, who is 6. So this I am knitting on ChiaoGoo Red Lace size 2, which is a 2.75 needle, magic loop, 16-inch cable, and it's just vanilla knitting. But while we're here, let's go ahead and move this up so that I don't forget the next time we podcast that I have indeed been tracking the progress. So we're gonna loop it into 2 stitches, maybe. No, we're not. We're going to be very difficult and not want to work at all and want to go through just 1 stitch. But there we go, I got it. So I moved my progress keeper now so we can keep track of how much I knit for the next time I podcast for it. That pattern, the Musselburgh hat, is by the notorious Ysolda Teague. Super popular on Ravelry and Instagram and everywhere else that people knit. That hat has been made millions of times. So let's then talk about socks. So we will talk about these first. They are in my Mountain State Stitches pumpkin bag for fall, even though these are not fall socks, but they're my Felici socks. They are, look at this. Guys, look, I have an entire sock done. An entire sock done in the colorway Buddy, which is only a 3-stripe repeat. Knitpicks decided that they were just going to keep it simple with some holiday colors, and that's okay though, because the stripes are a little wider and the sock goes by just as fast in my opinion. But this sock is knit on ChiaoGoo red lace 1.5 needle, which is a 2.5 millimeter 32-inch cable. I do a 2x2 ribbed cuff for 20 stitches. I do a 30 row leg. I do a slip stitch, heel flap, and gusset. I don't weave my ends in until the very end. And then I do the foot of my sock. And as you saw, half of the sock is done. And I'm on the second sock and I am ready to start the heel. I just stopped because I need to bring in my contrast color for my heel, which is this Bear Nomad yarn that I got back Christmas, I want to say 2 years ago, where you could get a whole bunch of their Bear yarn for a very good deal. So yeah, I'm using it as the contrast heels, toes, and cuffs. So I am ready for the heel on the second Buddy sock. So I am making progress on my Felici socks. Not as much progress as Lisa from 72 Stitches, but progress nonetheless. Those were being worked on until I received my next sock project that's in this bag. This bag is also from Mountain State Stitches. It's my Christmas bag. So it holds, what? That was way too high, I'm sorry. It is my Christmas bag, and it holds my Christmas colorway from Freckled Whimsy. There's her logo. I get her Serendipity base, which is a 75-25. And this colorway is called Holly Jolly. It is the Christmas Club Year 2, and this is the April colorway. So if you don't want to see it for any reason, look away because I'm about to show you the full sock. So I have the first sock all the way done until the toe. I just started the contrast color for the toe with the contrast mini that it comes with. And so I just added that in for the decreases. So this sock, I started Monday. I started this sock on the 13th and made some fairly good progress on it the past couple of days. And I want to finish the toe today and start the cuff today for the second sock. So this is still just the first sock, and then the cake is right here for the second sock that I have. So they're not going to match because I'd have to pull basically a full repeat out in order to get them to match, because this started with just the simplest green and then that same green is right there. And so I would have to pull, like I said, almost a full repeat out to have them match. And I'm not picky on my socks. They don't have to match, so it doesn't bother me. But they are living in this bag. I need to use these at pick up and drop off instead of my hat. But if I change my projects, I forget where I put them, and I don't want to do that. So that is all of the knitting and crochet that I have been doing. Like, I want to finish the hat and those socks that I have that I've been working on. I don't really have any other future casts on that I've like wanted to do except really pick up the pace with the socks. This summer is going to be very busy with us. We got some treatment news that my son, we're in life now, by the way. So my son just had a hospital stay last week, which is why I didn't record an episode last week. And we actually got some treatment news that's actually on the good side, that even with current setbacks with fevers and holds on some of the medication, we still get to do end of treatment at the end of this year. So we only have I want to say 8 more months left of this. 7 or 8 months, depending on when we do our official end of treatment date. So we can see the end of the tunnel. We're not there yet, but it is coming, and it's been such a blessing from God to know that everything that he's gone through, everything that we've gone through, everything that, we've gone through as a family and as a community, just it's paying off through blood, sweat, tears, medicine, prayers, and more tears. It is paying off because my son is thriving. He got to sign up for T-ball. We have to take additional precautions for him, but he gets to play T-ball this season, and his older sister is his biggest cheerleader. And yeah, we're just really happy with his progress through everything, and we're ready to have this be one of the biggest mountains that we have ever climbed, but we are happy to be done climbing the mountain, hopefully soon. So that was exciting to hear, even though we were in the hospital for another fever, because that is the life of an immunocompromised kid. So yeah, leukemia doesn't stop. But then I have been reading my Queen of Shadows book. I am a little over halfway. I think I want to say I'm 52% through that book based on my Kindle percentage. And I've been reading that mostly throughout the day and also at night because, like I said, last week we were in the hospital, so there wasn't much to do but read. So yeah, I've been reading, not really watching much TV or anything like that, just a couple of podcast episodes here and there, just as I catch them. But life has been lifing, and we are excited and nervous for the summer because it's the first summer that we have to navigate being able to go outside, but also still having to take all the precautions that we had to last year. So it'll be interesting to keep a 6-year-old wrangled. So yeah, I hope that all of you are having a wonderful end to your April. I hope that it's warming up for you, and I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.